My gosh, I can't believe I'm not super late on something that I just came up with, yesterday? And I even rescheduled and changed the time. So that is too funny. And you know what? Whenever you try to do something and you try to change something at the last minute, I know, like on my laptop, I was like, I don't want to do this on my phone. I want to do this on my laptop because I wanted to pull up this document. I wrote a couple of notes. And of course, when I do that, like literally the browser won't open now on my laptop. Like I'm just shutting the whole thing down. And it's kind of a sad laptop, you guys. Like, look, there's like duct tape on it and like it has fallen. I hate to say, like, definitely not purposefully, but I could have been a little more careful, if you know what I mean. But what up, you guys? I hope you guys are having a fun Friday flow. If you don't know what flow state means or creative flow state, then definitely Google it. I talk about it a lot in some of my videos and podcast shows, whatever you want to call them. They're all the same thing. I was just joking around about that actually with, I think, my son's father, somebody. I'm like, I think they asked me like, is that a podcast you're doing? And I'm like, podcast? Sure. Show? Sure. Live broadcast? Sure. Webinar? Sure. What do you video? Sure. Like, it's pretty much everything we do is the same thing, right? Like when we're talking to somebody, whether I'm talking one-on-one, like right now, like, and it does look like one person is watching, whoever that is. Hi. I'm talking one-on-one. Oh, now it's two. So I'm talking one-on-two. I usually don't look at it that much, but I wanted to make this Friday Flows more interactive. So if you guys get on here, I will pay attention and not just flow too crazy. So if you want to get on here, hopefully I can see comments and stuff. I think, yeah, it says live viewer comments show up on, this is an example, tap on a comment to show it on screen. So apparently I'm supposed to see if you guys comment on here, but if you comment on here and I don't say anything and I don't see it, I would like to know, because I've done StreamYard, this streaming service, a lot with someone else running it and doing it more than myself. So you can see I'm not like the tech savvy person, hands-on, more indirectly than directly, but you can always email me, crystalblackpurepodcasting@gmail.com, and you can give me any like topic ideas, themes, whatever. If you're like, I commented or asked a question and you never said anything, so check your tech lady, let me know. I would really like to know. And I cannot believe I actually stood up my phone on the wine bottle that I was going to pour myself a glass of wine. You guys, I'm so excited because I wasn't able for like a few years now to literally drink not the way that I used to. I don't want to drink like that. I used to be able to drink more and handle more, just like a lot of people out there in the world, right? Water is more important though. You gotta have water. Water is life. But I think just going through like a healing journey and a healing process and feeling bad, worse, and then better, and going on that roller coaster. Tell me about your experience. But I definitely had to cut back completely on alcohol. I had to go from like maybe a few to 0 for a long time, and then I was able to do like a half and then like 1. And now I'm just kind of excited in a dorky way that I've been able to have like a couple of drinks when I do drink. And this actually is an accidental, perfect opening and intro to what I wanted to talk about. Like, totally didn't plan it. This is what I mean, flow state, Friday flow. So I watched a video earlier on YouTube, like I do, like we all do, right? Tell me you guys don't watch like at least one YouTube video per day. Come on. I mean, I can't remember the last time I missed a day of like watching one. Wow, that just like got me off track just thinking about that. So it was a Vice video about Vice, I'm pretty sure. Or was it somebody else who did it? And it looked like the Vice logo. Do you guys know Vice? They're like a media, like kind of, I don't know what else they do. They probably do a lot of things. But they had like a magazine and a website, and they've done like docu-series, documentaries on different topics and like news, trends, whatever. So culture, everything from like culture and music to like, you know, drugs and awful traumatic things to personal stories. Like, have you heard of The Lives of New York or The Humans or People of New York, whatever, that's on Instagram? It's so cool. Side note. So check that out. But it was Vice on Vice. So basically, I was trying to explain this to my son earlier. What's a vice? I said, do you know what vice is? And he was like vice president. It was the cutest. Harrison, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm giving you a shout out. But I was like, that's adorable. But yeah, vice is actually something that can be a weakness. It doesn't have to end up that way. It's something that you can like get into habits, habitual lifestyle with, and possibly lead to addiction issues. Just it can really uproot your life and like be super negative. Or you can take whatever negative vibes, effects, experiences you've had with it, and turn it into a positive if you choose to learn and grow and evolve from it, right? So I forgot the dude's name because I'm not pulling it up on all my stuff, but I will shout out to him later. He did a great job of, wrapping it up and explaining it super smooth and short, unlike my flow state jibber jabber. But this is for all y'all folks out there. If you're neurodiverse or not, hopefully you can relate and understand the flow of what we're talking about. So we're gonna flow it with a vice on vice today. So I don't know about you guys, what your vice is, what you have viced on, maybe what you're vicing on now, what you're learning from it, if anything, whether you're still stuck in like a negative place with it, or if you've gotten to a more neutral or positive place. I know for me, I feel like I've gone through so many vices in my life. I don't know that I want to name them all here, but I definitely won't get into specifics, but I will say, like, in general, it's been everything from, just sexual habits to I haven't been like an alcoholic per se, but there was a time in my life when I started having a drink every day, even though it wasn't a lot. I was just working and the stress from work. I was like, maybe I should drink every day. Let's try that. I was just like trying everything. I was raised very like faith-based and religious-based, so I hit that hard for like most of my life, a lot of my life, just praying the heck and fasting and praying and doing this and and then you realize one day the more that you're trying so hard, that's what's making it so hard, because you're trying so hard to change instead of embracing who you really are and embracing the here and the now and like what you're struggling with, and then just diving deeper and going in and going, wow, let me give myself a hug. Like, God, I need it, because I'm reaching out for something and I keep grabbing these vices and just drowning myself in it, right? Just and it's really just a cry for help. So we can't like point fingers. It's like the stupidest and like most judgmental crap to be judging people and shaming and blaming and thinking somebody's better than the other. It's ridiculous, because whoever does that, I've learned the hard way, you guys. Whoever does that is usually doing at least equal, if not worse, and shame on top of shame behind closed doors. And because otherwise they wouldn't talk and treat people like that and give out vibes like that, just straight up. Let me take off my bracelet. That's when you're getting in the ring, right? You're just like taking off your jewelry. I haven't worn earrings in a while. I'm just gonna take off the one bracelet. I was trying to look girly today because we're going out to eat to a new restaurant. I'm so excited. I haven't been there yet. It's an Indian restaurant over here where we live, and I love Indian food, but I don't eat it often enough for how much I love it. So I don't know what y'all's favorite kind of food is, but I love it all because I'm a food globalist and I give equal time to equal cuisines and countries around the world. But that's just how I feel. Some people, you got more a basic palate. I get it. Like I'm not saying you're basic. You have a basic palate. I definitely have a wide range for my palate, but I can't eat it as spicy as I used to. I will say, you guys, I used to be able to take such spicy food, spicy whatever, and now it's definitely like probably half of what I used to be able to take. So, and it goes back and forth, up and down. But I thought this was interesting and something to talk about. Excuse me, with the vices. And since we're speaking about the vices, I am going to take my last little gulp of water and I'm going to switch to wine here in a second. Okay, 2 goals. I'm trying to be more mindful about drinking water because it used to be such an automatic for me. And I don't know, lately I've just been enjoying so many other kinds of drinks. And I got back on soda, you guys. I spent years, and I was so proud of myself without drinking soda. Like it was some like pat on my back. Like I literally had like a teeny tiny little pride thing going on with it. Like, yeah, I stopped drinking soda like 10 years ago. And then it became 11, almost 12 years. I'm like, yeah, I haven't drank soda in like 11 years. And I was proud of myself though. I was legitimately proud of myself, but I probably bragged about it a little bit. And I'm laughing now about all the things I bragged about or that I thought I was doing a good job with because man, I definitely went down the other path and have beaten myself up and done all the dumb things and messed up major. So check out this book in case if anyone needs a good one to read. This was given to me by someone, so I'm thankful. Otherwise, I may not have read it or found out about it, but I've been enjoying it more this year. And if you can't tell, it's like totally messed up. It's like dirty and like I spilled water on it. And so it's the pages are messed up and I had to dry it. That just means it was worn. Like it went with me some places. And I have reread parts of it and I'm nearing the end. And I'm glad I waited a while to read it because instead of like preemptively reading it, I actually had more of a spiritual awakening the other year and I've been on this path and just like healing hard. I was like, I'm gonna heal from the inside out all the way this time. I'm going all the way, like not halfway. I'm going all the way. I don't care where this path leads. So that's why the continuation of this continues. But I would so recommend this book. It's been really good after I've experienced a lot of the stuff they talk about in this, like surrendering different negative emotions and then letting it transcend and just ascend into something else more positive later and be able to just tear down all your negative programming and stuff that makes you blame and shame yourself, all that stuff, whether it comes from your religious upbringing, faith, just your family traditions in general, maybe something your friends put in your mind, maybe it's another community group, maybe, et cetera, et cetera. So I know everybody can relate to that, whether you want to admit it or not. It's in there, subconsciously, consciously, unconsciously, one of the three. But it's been a very helpful book to kind of just confirm and reaffirm and affirm me what I have experienced, that it's legitimate, it's real, and I am proud of myself, but like in a non-prideful way. Like it used to be a lot more prideful, and there's a whole chapter here on pride that is so enlightening. It's just super helpful. And like the chapter on peace, I just opened up to that like by chance, chapter 13, peace, page 187. And it's funny because I was brought up in faith in the church and whatnot, and it talks about the peace that transcends all understanding, right? And the Prince of Peace is Jesus. Peace, peace, peace. I came to he's like a peacemaker, right? But at the same time, not really, because also Jesus came to set the world on fire. Jesus came to set the story straight, right? To bring out the truth. Now I'm quoting the Bible all of a sudden. This is what I mean, flow state, you guys are flowing through. So you just don't know what's going to happen next. I don't, so obviously you don't. This is unscripted, clearly. My whole life's unscripted, just in case anyone was noticing, wondering, whatever. But yeah, I didn't really know true peace or what peace was really like because it was constantly like under the shadow of like my faith, my religion, my upbringing with it. Especially when you've had it really hard, like affected and kind of put on you in your life. I put even more of that on myself. Like instead of pushing back and going, okay, like I don't want to go to church all the time, or like I need a break, or I knew it wasn't an option the way that the conditioning was in there. And I can read all the subliminal and nonverbal cues and you just want to be good. It's like I want to be a good person. I want to be a good girl. I want to be a good daughter. I want to be a good sister. I want to be a good mother one day. I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good, and then I became Christian. I want to be a good, right? And it goes down the line. So I want to be good, and then I want to be good at whatever I'm doing. And I think that's what led to just my hard going at faith, religion, just hardcore. Instead of just keeping it steady. I don't think my family or anyone else knew around me like how hardcore I was, like behind closed doors. Like I definitely meant all of it and kept it real. And then I would flip flop though. I would go so hard at it that I would be like, man, this is not, I don't know if this is really me because I'm so extreme. Like, is this really who I am? Or like, I've been so good and so like pure hearted, just pushing myself forward. And for what? Like, I'm getting treated worse, like bad things are happening. Like, what is this all for? So then sometimes I would run in the opposite direction. I feel like I've done this my whole life. I don't know about y'all. Tell me if you have had a different experience. And I really hope this whole time you can hear, because I haven't gotten a new mic yet. And I am going to get a new mic. Oh my God, Grace. The state of Grace dropped in to say hi. Hola. Hola, Grace. I know. Necesito practicar mi español. Did you know? Solo hablo un poquito. Pero yo necesito practicar. ¿Sí? Sí, I do. And I did actually. Oh, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, mi amiga linda. I did practice this morning. I've been doing Duolingo, which is like the free app. It's such a, is that a cop-out or what? I don't know. I took it in high school and I did very well at it. I took it a little bit in college and then I just kind of fell off. Like, I remember working at the mall and talking to people who couldn't speak English and they were so excited because they could tell I wasn't like Spanish. Duolingo is the best. Have you ever tried Duolingo? There's, what's another one that was like a paid one? I did a free trial and it was like not as good as Duolingo. So it's like, clearly I'm going to do the free one. I don't know if my son's done something called Pimsleur. There's so many now. And he is practicing German like a boss for French and Italian. That is very good. Oui, oui. Je m'appelle Crystal. Italian. What do I know? Parlo un po' l'italiano. You know, just a little here, a little there. The food is all good. I like all the food. Again, I'm a food globalist. I don't know about you, Grace. I love everybody's food, like pretty much. I hear English food is like blah. People always say that. I hate to hate on England. I've never even been there. I don't know if you've been there. I love food. Grace is like, I love food. I do too. I love it so much. I'm gonna just pour myself like a little bit of wine here. This is my grandmother's crystal glasses that I have. She's not here with us anymore, but her glasses. You guys, this cheap wine, Grace. Do you like wine? I have gotten into so many different kinds of wine, and this one's like a cheaper one. Robert Mondavi Private Selection Red Blend. It was like $7 or $8, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And I had some Spanish cheese. Grace, I don't know how long you're going to be on here. What's your favorite kind of cheese? From where? It was just like a mix of Spanish cheeses from Costco, but it did say they were from Spain. When I checked, it looked kind of legit. They were literally from Spain. So the one that I like the best out of the three, I remember it was like it was the mix of like sheep, goat, cows, milk. I don't know, but I'm glad the comments are working. I'm glad you commented. So thank you for doing that, Grace, because I was just curious. And cheers. Buen provecho if you're eating. Salud. It's an early bird dinner time. Oh my God, I did not know you were vegan. Grace, I don't know if that just totally eluded me or if that never came up. I had no idea, but I have totally eaten vegan before and I ate vegetarian for like 3 years. So I'm happy for you. It's probably just a lot healthier lifestyle. Trust me. I felt really good those 3 years. I don't know that I would have as easy of a time doing it now, but I can do it whenever I want. And actually, the Indian restaurant we're going to, it's so easy to eat vegetarian Indian food. I mean, it's the best. So I might do that tonight, eat vegetarian and vegan just in your honor. So I will let you know if I do that. It says you used to be a wine lover, but you're abstaining. Of course, that makes sense. And that's exactly, I was talking about at the top here, just not drinking alcohol when I'm going through a healing process for the last couple of years. And it was like my body was repulsed by it. It seemed like poison to my body. So maybe I'm coming out the other end of the healing, which is why I was like, I'm going to celebrate and have a little bit of wine, just like I did last night. I was not able to for a while. So I completely understand. Keep that going. And yeah, it's way more important. Health is way more important. Your cheat is vegetarian. Well, that was like the best I could do because I remember when I was doing it, it was earlier in my 20s, like my mid 20s to late, somewhere in there. I remember, let me try to do vegan for like 2 weeks. I was like, I'm doing it for 2 weeks. Like, I swear to God, 2 weeks it's happening, and we'll see if it's easy or not. And it was the hardest 2 weeks. It was so much easier just to eat vegetarian than vegan because I do love cheese. And at the time, I was like sour creaming it out. And now I don't eat sour cream as much as I used to. But I've eaten a lot more cream cheese. Dude, I'm like an Alfredo sauce and all that kind of stuff. But you have the vegan options, and most of them are actually really good. So maybe you're just in a good time, Grace. You're in a better time being vegan because there's so many more options now. I'm going to tell you, vegan can be challenging, and staying clean helps you a lot. It helps anybody who does it. I mean, my experience with eating more clean has just been total payoff. It affects the mind, the body. It's like it's connected. We're all connected. The mind, the body's connected, whether we realize it or not. And it makes such a difference. But especially when you're being mindful and aware and like you're feeding your spirit right, and you're doing all the other things, your emotional health, your mental health, I think then, we talk about the awakening and our journey. So it's like, it's all part of it. It helps us be more aware of all this, especially in LA. I have never been over there, so I don't know how challenging it is because I hear there's some good food, but I don't know exactly. There's some really good places to eat here in Orlando. Honestly, a lot of people, they say they're like foodie spots. So it's not always the mainstream or like the Disney. There's like a Disney crowd. They're like, we done with Disney. It's like, what? Why don't you just go to like authentic or foodie spots? There's a lot of people who do like a lot of ramen and that kind of thing. A lot of ramen foodie spots. I'm sure they do have a lot more amazing vegan places than here. Like, there's a couple here that are well-known vegan, and one of them, yeah, it's vegan. It's not just, is it vegetarian or vegan? Maybe vegetarian, I don't want to say, but it's Infusion Tea over here in not Winter Park. It's right next to Winter Park, College Park in Winter Park, Florida. And I used to hang out there all the time because they have those loose leaf teas. Do you like the tea, Grace, or are you more of a coffee drinker? I don't know, or not any of it. Tea is a lot more easy on the system. And there's so many like obvious like medicinal teas and like herbal teas that are really good for you. But the loose leaf tea, oh, you love tea. Good. Oh my gosh. Hopefully we can do like tea one day or whatever when I meet you in person, because it's not right now, but it will be happening. I'm telling you, manifesting it. So yeah, Infusion Tea over here. If you guys are ever in Winter Park, College Park area, such great tea, and you can pour it in the loose leaf way with a little timer, and then you do the thing, and it's so good. I love it. And they have like, yeah, a little vegetarian meals, and then they cook or bake like vegan. That's what it is. The baked goods are vegan. I just figured that out in my flow state. So they have like baked like scones and muffins and vegan pie and vegan this and that. And you're like, oh, that sounds weird for people who are like on the other side of that. They're so good, like delicious. I love eating like vegan desserts because maybe because it makes me feel like halfway I'm being healthy, but it's still dessert. Like it's vegan. But then, what did I realize? Something totally not, probably not healthy, but Oreos are vegan. I heard somebody else that was eating vegan. They're like, I can eat Oreos. I'm like, yeah, because the cream is not a dairy, which is disturbing when you look at the ingredients. So there is a way to eat clean vegan and not clean. You're a vegan dessert hoe. Love it. Let's vegan dessert hoe it out. Now I'm craving it. Now that I just talked about it and like pictured them all in my mind. Like, oh my God, the flourless chocolate vegan tart and cakes and the tarts and the vegan pies and like I could go down the list. Yeah, now I want it pretty bad, but we're going to eat Indian food. Still an hour before we leave, and I'm already hungry. But you can see I'm not a lush here in alcohol. I don't like guzzle it down. I very much sip nowadays, guys. But Grace, I was totally talking earlier about like vices and different ones you can go through in life. I don't know if you want to mention any of yours. I was like, it has been alcohol before, a little bit here. I said some sexual habits or stuff because I don't want to get into specifics. And no, I wasn't like a nymphomaniac or anything. But and there's been certain pills. Let me go down the list. Shopping. If I just kept going and going, I could just keep coming up with stuff. But I know I was talking to my son about that earlier, and he's like, clearly it's video games and like YouTube videos have been his vice and his issue. And we talked about just how it can become just like a habit or part of your routine, and then going to a more negative space of like addiction and just like overtaking your life. And then all of a sudden it's like affecting your sleeping pattern, your eating cycle, your this, your that, and then your mood and your mindset. And all of a sudden, and you think, I gotta have this thing. Like if every day you're like, I gotta have this, then it's like nobody wants to feel that way. And that's when you get into addictions and just feeling awful, and people can trash and ruin their life. But you can always pick it up and change it. And some people are like, no, like I have this addiction to my family. I can never do this again. I'm in a support group, and like whether it's AA or this or that. And I totally respect that and believe that, as long as you believe that and you're like, this is what I have to do, I'm like, more power to you. And I totally support that. And I do believe that habits and addictions and the cycle and how it runs in families can be healed, because I truly believe I'm healing generational cycles, traumas, addictions, patterns. I mean, all down the line. I know that I've been healing it for a while, and it's coming out the other end, and I'm just really excited and happy about it. And it's been a hard, long road. I've had a lot of crazy things happen to me and that I've done to myself while I was doing a vice and while I was not doing a vice. I've had it done to me. I've done it to myself. I'm sure you guys can relate, a lot of, maybe most of everybody out there. So it's really a miracle I'm alive, just like a lot of us, that whether it was a health condition that popped up or something we did to ourselves or whatever, I'm just glad to be here and talking and alive and breathing and smiling, because Grace sprays everything to make me smile. Yes, breaking the generational patterns. It's true. Like, just don't want to live that way. You want to live in a more, I want to say balanced and like peaceful, but at the same time, if you have a need for speed like me, then I got the ADHD thing going, you guys. Clearly, I've embraced and accepted who I am, and I've thought a lot about it as I've been healing and going through stuff, because that's why you can get into addictive patterns too. They say ADHD is like super related. There's a correlation with addiction, substance abuse, all these things, generational patterns in your family, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because when you do that vice, right, you get a dopamine hit or credit. Cha-ching, cha-ching. And people with ADHD, it's part of neuroscience, you guys, psychology, look it up. We have a lower like dopamine level because the uptake and the reuptake and the this and that are like fluctuating at different levels, and it's not staying like more even keel. Like what neurotypical people can sit there and like work throughout the day and seem more seemingly normal. Me, I don't know about you guys, but this is me on if I'm working and doing anything. I'm just on an emotional roller coaster, whether internally or where you can see it externally. You can see it more now because I'm showing it more now. I'm just allowing myself to flow and be myself and not be so controlled. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. I've controlled myself and I've been controlled, and it all just sucks. And I'm not here to be your sucker anymore. So, cute, right? I have to say this other comment Grace wrote because it's making me smile, and I was trying to finish my thought. She said, like the song says, once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. Do I know that song? Who did that song? Is it a rap song? Well, I know I love the song by Ludacris called Use a Hoe. And that just says it all right there. There's maybe some anger and pent up stuff behind that, and it's a really healthy way to get some of that out because you have to continually, you guys, the art of letting go. You have to continually, surrender different emotions that come up, right? So they don't overtake you, whether it's something that brings out anger, just a feistiness in general. I've gotten more feisty than angry, and rap music definitely helps me like bang that out so that I don't pop anybody, in the jaw or anything. She's like, yes. Do you know that song? You the whole. Anywho, Ludacris is like, it's a whole wide world. Why do you think you take a hoe to a hotel? Okay. Those are just a couple of very witty rhymes and very like pun driven things in that song. I'm like trying to play cool now. Cha-ching. Oh my God, Grace. I don't know if you're still here, but did you see my hair? I fixed the back of my head. It was so messed up because I always wear the hat, and now I'm like all excited. I mean, it probably doesn't look as good as I think it does because it looks so bad. I was wearing a hat all the time. It was pretty bad. So maybe I'll have to send you another picture. We keep doing these shows together. You guys, is it the 26th? May 26th? I think it is. That night, we're doing another Quantum Nerds thing, so come check it out. I know I already posted a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm curious if you guys comment on here now or later. I'm gonna share this somewhere. I mean, it's under the live category, but I'm gonna put it on. So if anybody wants to bring up any vices and how you've like dealt with it and learned, grown, evolved, and made it into a positive, I have. But I will tell you, the only way that I've learned to do that is by going extreme all the way in the wrong direction with it. Hopefully not everybody has to do that because that's really wrong and it could be deadly. So we'll just say that. It could be deadly. So I would caution not to do that. But I think in my life, the way things have gone, I had to do it. So I know what it feels like to just fall to the wall with so many things and then wake up and be like, oh my God, I'm alive. That's amazing. Or even in the abusive, toxic relationships that I mean, a lot of us, Grace knows, that we've talked about, narcissistic, this or that, whatever you want to say, toxic. It's easier just to say toxic because we all have had toxic traits or still do. And like, we could become super toxic at any time if we just get in the habit and start doing it or get it in our mentality, right? Unless you're like all the way healed, but most of us are on a healing journey because it just every day, again, letting go, surrendering, the art of letting go, the art of surrendering. But say la vie, I love it. Thank you. I love it too. And yeah, the peace thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this because I totally had to break and say hi to Grace earlier. See, I'm flowing all over the place. I just wanted to read this really quick about the peace thing because, yeah, especially the vices I'm explaining, the ADHD, this does not look like peace, right? I've had such extreme highs and lows, internally, externally. Like I said, I have a need for speed, like with not the drug necessarily. I've never done speed, but I feel like I am speed. Like I used to speed really bad, you guys, with driving. Like in my car, I got so many tickets over here, Orange County, Florida, not California, Florida, that you don't even bother looking up my name. I even spent one day in jail for it. Well, not just for speeding, but it was just like a convoluted thing. But it just became an issue, like, and I would try not to do it, and then I would change the song. Freaking radio, you guys, or CD, whatever I was listening to, crank up the volume, and it could have been Luda, it could have been whoever just coming on next. I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Leadfoot just, and then I go, oh shit. And then I'm like braking and trying not, but it was just something I felt like I couldn't control. I was having so many issues controlling for a few years there. The speed, I think it was really bad, like 2014 to 2015 through 2017. Just those 2 years specifically, 2 or 3 years. Cause yeah, I totally I got arrested. It was like January 2017. I'll never forget because I was going into work one morning really early, and I was like, it was so early. I hadn't put on my makeup on yet, and I was right there. I was about to turn into work, and I had this bad feeling. I had this weird feeling like I should just wait or like pull over, and that was my gut trying to tell me something, and I didn't listen, and I got pulled over, and I'll never forget that. I was not planning on telling this story, you guys. This is what Flow State's rocking it through. Yeah, I was not planning on that or telling this story, but I'll never forget. The officer was really nice, even though I could tell he was like checking like the back of my tag or looking. I was on a list. I was on a flipping list where they're looking for you, and they're like, they call it the HTO list, habitual traffic offender, and thank God, hired a attorney so that I wouldn't become an HTO for real. But I was definitely on the list, so he pulled me over and he was like, "Have you ever been to jail?" Sorry, something's itching. Have you ever been to jail? And I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, we're gonna go there today." Like the way he said it, it was totally like that, and it was probably the most. I hope somebody has a video of it, like somewhere, because it was the most like conservative, like calm, polite, respectful arrest and like trip into jail, like on the books, like could have ever been possible. It was hilarious. I'll have to tell more of that story later because it was just too. I think he was blown away at just the nonchalance from me and the politeness and just the understood. Because like I was like, it was a complete surrender. Oh my god! I just realized that. I'm talking about the art of surrendering everything. I surrendered all when I realized I'm getting arrested and going to jail. I'm like, there's no fighting it. There's no argument. Like, of course I would never do that. It doesn't make sense. People who do that, I just feel like, yeah, it makes no sense. But I understand people have emotional reactions about it and whatnot. But I had like no reaction. And I think he was so blown away and surprised by it. Oh, you have to get ready for your live, Grace. I hope you have, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Awesome. I hope you have a great time too. I gotta pop in on more of your lives too. I'm sitting here. He was just blown away at the level of understanding. He was like thanking me before we got in the cop car to take a little ride to the county jail. He was like, thank you so much for like being so great and understanding. Maybe he's never had anyone react that way. Anywho, I should probably get off here soon because I'm about to just Dear Diary the heck of this Friday flow out. And look, can't even blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. You guys know that one? That's an oldie. Can't even blame it. Just had like 1 or 2 sips. Okay. But yeah, I'm surprised. If you guys needed a good cheap wine that's a blend, I'm really surprised. The Robert Mondani Private Selection blend was really good. Usually I go for Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know about y'all. But I'm just so excited that I can have little drinks now and my body's not repelling it or like thinking it's complete poison. And I feel like I can kind of keep some things balanced. And I've been able to heal and grow and take notice of my vices and kind of throw caution to the wind with them, go all the way this way, notice how it's affecting my life, my health, how I feel, and go, wow, I keep doing this to myself. This feels awful. I feel like I'm going to die. Do I want to live the rest of my life like this? No. Why do I keep doing it? Why? Why am I doing this? So it's always good to just peel back the layers, you guys. If you're in therapy, hopefully your therapist is helping you figure out how to do that. If not, get a new one or go do something else that's another therapy modality because you've got to peel back the layers and then start to deal with letting it go. Really letting go of the emotion and doing some emotional work to let it go. Because if you keep doing talk therapy, I'm here to tell you, and you don't let it go, it will recycle every time and keep staying with you. I know, trust me. 39 years here, I know. So cheers. I hope you guys have a fun Friday night and a Friday float out. I'll check you later. I never know when I'm going to do these. I might do them at different times. I'm going to always just edit, and I am getting a new mic. So hopefully it's okay. You can still hear. Okay. Clearly, because Grace heard and she commented. Thanks, Grace. And yeah, I'll check you guys later. Check out the live category each week for Friday flows. Flowing on out. Peace.